Assalamualaikum. Hi, my name is Alina binti Azhan with my matrix number is 30DLS22F2013.
My name is Dana Zasra binti Kara Zasri with my matric number is 30DLS22F2039.
Saya Zamani bin Abdul. My matric number is 30DLS22F2043.
So we are going to talk about risk in transportation management in Malaysia. Risk in transportation management in Malaysia. Number one is traffic congestion. Malaysia faces challenges with traffic congestion, particularly in urban areas, impacting the timely movement of goods and people. For the impact, delays in transportation, affecting supply chains, and increased operational costs for businesses. Number two is infrastructure development and maintenance. Concerns exist regarding the pace and maintenance of infrastructure development, leading to potential inefficiencies and safety hazards. For the impact, poorly maintained infrastructure can result in increased transportation costs and safety risks. The last one is weather-related risks. Malaysia is susceptible to weather-related risks such as heavy rainfall and flooding affecting road conditions and transportation routes. The impact is severe weather events can lead to the damaged infrastructure, road closures, and disruptions in transportation services. In the current context, environmental risks in transportation management are crucial considerations due to the growing awareness of climate change and the need for sustainable practices. One prominent environmental risk is climate change impact on infrastructure. For example, according to a report in the International Journal of Transportation Science and Technology 2022, climate change induced events like rising sea levels and extreme weather patterns pose a threat to transportation infrastructure. Increased occurrences of floods and hurricanes can damage roads, bridges, and ports, disrupting the smooth flow of goods and passengers. The second one is emissions and air quality concerns. An example, an article in Transportation Research Part E, Transport and Environment 2023, discusses the environmental risks associated with high emissions from traditional transportation modes. Governments and regulatory bodies are implementing stricter emission standards to address air quality concerns. Failure to comply with these standards can result in fines and impact a company's reputation. Number three is supply chain sustainability. For example, the Green Logistic Initiative highlighted in a recent issue of Transportation Journal 2023 emphasizes the environmental risk of unsustainable supply chain practices. Consumers are increasingly demanding eco-friendly transportation options, and companies that don't align with sustainable practices risk losing market share. Number four is renewable energy transition. An example, a feature in Transportation Research Part E, Logistic and Transportation Review 2022, explores the environmental risks and opportunities associated with the transition to renewable energy in transportation. Companies heavily reliant on fossil fuels may face regulatory challenges and increased costs as governments push for greener alternatives. Number five is biodiversity conservation. An example, an op-ed in the leading environmental newspaper discusses the impact of transportation infrastructure projects on local ecosystem. Environmental Watch 2023. The destruction of habitats for road expansion or new railway lines poses environmental risks, leading to protests and legal challenges. The last one is waste management in transportation. An example, waste management in transportation challenges and solutions, a research paper in Transportation Research Part A, Policy and Practice 2022, highlights the environmental risks associated with improper disposal of waste generated by transportation activities. The responsible management of waste, including vehicle disposal and packaging materials, is essential to mitigate these risks. Addressing these environmental risks in transportation management requires a comprehensive approach, including the adoption of sustainable technologies, adherence to emission standards, and a commitment to environmentally friendly practices throughout the supply chain. Companies that proactively manage these risks not only contribute to environmental conservation but also enhance their long-term resilience in an evolving regulatory landscape.
5 Impact of the environmental risk on the transportation and logistics industry. Answer number 1 is logistics. Transport emits a high rate of greenhouse gases emissions. Transport and road traffic in particular produce fine particles that pollute the outside air. These particles are not only harmful to humans, but they are also toxic to ecosystems. Exposure to PM2.5 fine particles and to PM10 particles reduce human life expectancy and will affect newborns. Some respiratory and cardiovascular diseases are caused by air pollution, likewise greenhouse gases, for example, CO2, CH4, N2O, O3, halocarbons, and the last one is SF3 released through means of transport are harmful to the nature. These pollutants caused by road infrastructure is in urban areas reduce air quality and contaminate the planet's water reserve. Next, pollution in the aquatic environment. Environmental impacts in logistics transport also include oceans and groundwater. Every year, there is an ecological catastrophe related to the sinking of an oil tanker. This has consequences in the ocean and coastal ecosystems. Besides the environment mentioned above, the most damaged areas are groundwater and rivers in rural areas. As a result, aquatic species are threatened by this form of pollution, and it is feared that some of them will disappear in the long term. The third one, transportation, is a big noise. Roads, sea, and air traffic are responsible for this. The road transportation causes noise that could harm people and wildlife. In addition, there exist other kind of noise caused by the motor unit, tires on the road, and also the aerodynamic ones. The sound of vehicles become the real nuisance beyond 50 km per hour. The noise caused by rail transportation is due to wear rail contact, squealing the brakes or taking curve from the diesel engine and aerodynamic for the TGV. Moreover, increased operational costs. The transportation and logistics industry relies heavily on fuel for vehicles and energy for facilities. Environmental risks like volatile fuel price due to geopolitical events or regulatory change promoting cleaner energy sources can significantly impact operational costs. For example, stricter emission standards may require companies to invest in the more expensive and eco-friendly technologies. The last one is consumption of the natural environment and of energy. The development of transportation and logistics infrastructure leads to a large consumption of space. Consequently, the environment is negatively impacted. The flora or fauna, agriculture, and the environmental heritage end up being damaged. The impact of transportation on the environment also leads to acidification of soils and plants, and also to the depletion of the ozone layer due to greenhouse gases.
As a citizen, there are 5 responsibilities you can have towards addressing environmental risks in transportation. Firstly, promote sustainable transportation. Encourage the use of public transportation, carpooling, cycling, or walking whenever possible. By reducing your own reliance on private cycles, you can help minimize air pollution and greenhouse gas emission. Number 2 is advocate for better infrastructure. Support initiatives that promote the development of efficient and eco-friendly transportation infrastructure, such as bike lanes, pedestrian-friendly pathways, and electric cycle charging sections. Engage with local authorities and community groups to voice their concerns and push for positive change. Number 3 is reduce personal consumption. Minimize unnecessary purchases and consider the environmental impact of the products you buy. By reducing consumption, you can indirectly reduce the demand for transportation and its associated environmental risks such as increased manufacturing and shipping emissions. Number 4 is stay informed and educate others. Keep yourself updated on environmental issues related to transportation, such as the impact of air pollution, traffic congestion, or the benefit of alternative transportation modes. Share this knowledge with others, whether through social media, community discussion, or educational initiative. Number 5, and the last, support renewable energy and green technologies. Advocate for the adoption of clean and renewable energy sources in transportation, such as electric vehicles or hybrid cars. Encourage the use of renewable energy infrastructure, such as solar power charging stations. By supporting green technologies, you contribute to reducing the environmental risks associated with transportation.
In conclusion, environmental risk really affects transportation management. From disrupting supply chains to increasing operational costs and challenging regulatory compliance, these risks require careful consideration. Growing infrastructure and consumer preference are required for adaptable strategies in the face of environmental problems. A resilient infrastructure is essential for a future-ready transportation and logistics industry. That's all from us. If you have any questions, you can ask now.